Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are looking at the iFi Micro. This is a follow-up to the original review that we did. It's been some time. Let me bring it over here. We've seen in the other video, what comes in the packaging. I'm actually gonna take that out. This is just a discussion of just the basics of this, including the sound signature. We didn't get into a lot of details with the sound signature, and I don't get into heavy details with the sound signature of DAC amps because, a good DAC obviously is going to not have any signature, and obviously the amp part is going to add, depending on what it is and what circuitry is inside of it. This is just the bottom, by the way, all the different supported things on it. And you can see the filters that you have, the IAM match, something we should talk about. Now, I had mentioned that the Q3 was like exceptional with IAMs, and that is true. It is very good. If you're just doing strictly IAMs, you want something that's in the lower budget range, definitely the Q3. If you want something that's going to grow with you, that can easily, expand from IMs to headphones, even powerful headphones, not super powerful ones, not 600 ohms or something like that. Even though it does say it runs that, this is still a portable that runs off of a battery. So that's up to you if you want to do that. Looking at the features, obviously we have the standard large jack and the balanced jack, 4.4, and X bass and 3D. Now, basically what 3D does is emphasizes, mid-range and treble and widens it up. It gives it a much more wider sound stage without going overboard. It's not going to be, if you have a pair that's just really closed, and you add that, it's going to add some openness to it, but don't expect miracles. Still, it is a really nice feature, and I like to use that on some things. Not everything. X bass. Again, if you have a heavy bass pair of IAMs or headphones, you're obviously not going to need the X bass. But if you have some that are a little too bright, that X bass takes it up just the right amount of decibels of bass. It's tastefully done. It doesn't muddy anything up. It doesn't take away from anything. It just adds some good lower end. You have a charging port there, which is USB-C. These little rubberized feet down the bottom. On the back, you have an optical. You have your RCAs, which you keep covered if I'm not being used. You have your standard iFi type jack, which also takes an OTG cable really easy. So if you have an OTG cable for your Android phone, you could go there. It says iFi, kind of understated. And just overall, some very nice features here. Another thing that it has is, besides the IE match, which really does work on really sensitive, like all-BA, ultra-sensitive IMs. This works superb. It's probably one of the best ones that I've heard. There's very low ground noise with this. You've got your different filters, Bit Perfect and Standard. And then you also have your gain mode. You have Turbo, Normal, and Echo. Almost everything that you're going, especially with IAMs, you're going to be on Echo unless you're running like P2s or P1s or some other ones that take a lot of power. Trying to think, not necessarily take a lot of power, but like your Believes and the Tri-i3s. Trying to think of something that benefits that you could go in the normal. You do not need Turbo. Turbo would be more for full-size headphones. Although there are some earbuds that are like 300 ohms and higher. So very nice features. the I/O switches and different things on it. Excellent. The build quality is really, really good. This is all metal. It's very nice. Feels just like the Black Label with an addition. I think this might be actually slimmer than the Black Label. I only tried the Black. I've never actually owned the Black Label. But from what I hear, this is very similar in the signature and everything else. Bass has very good details and texture. There's a nice bottom end and punch. It doesn't like overemphasize the bass, but it is very well done. That bass, like I said, that X bass is very tastefully done as well. You get into the mids. They're slightly warm. There's a great amount of details there. Vocals are very clean. They have a very nice texture as well, a nice airiness to them. Instruments have some good separation as well. And then we get into the treble. Treble seems to be very neutral. There's some sparkle, there's detail there, but it seems more neutral than bright, if anything. They're very rich. There's some really good airiness to them as well. Soundstage on this is very good. It's open. I actually have to look at my notes to finish. It's naturally wide. Imaging is very accurate, and there's some good separation, as I said before. So, in conclusion, my final thoughts on this is probably, for me, now this is my opinion, but this is not even probably, this definitely is probably, there I go again, this definitely is the best choice, in my opinion, for me. And that takes nothing away from the Diablo. The Diablo is really just a reference class, just benchmark portable. It really is. It has power. It has superior details and clarity, and this one being more detailed and fun. It has that nice, almost that analog tube kind of quality from the Burr Brown chip, like a lot of i5 products that I find quite pleasant. Battery life is excellent. Build quality is excellent. The features, the sound, this is going to be like the best well-rounded one of the bunch that I've used. And my X2 never came in. I mean, I do have the XP2, which is a Bluetooth and a DAC amp, and I've been waiting for the XD5, and that hasn't come in to compare. I've compared all the other ones. We've had the hip DAC, we've had the Q3, trying to think of all the other ones that we had. There was a bunch of other ones, and we've had obviously the Diablo and the iFi micro iDSD signature. And as for portables, I think that's pretty much it, not counting the different Bluetooth ones that came in. I don't count those. Yeah, this has been the most well-rounded. I gotta tell you, you got build quality. It's not overly big. Obviously, it's the biggest out of everything except for the Diablo, but it feels heavy enough. There's some quality components in there, but it's lighter weight than you would expect. Definitely lighter than a brick. With its features and the fact that it has good power, and it handles the lower power things fine, I would say this is my favorite out of the bunch. And that's not taken away from the hip DAC, which I thought was very good, and the Q3, which I thought was superb. I loved all those balances, jacks across the front. I like the features. I like my Bluetooth XP because it has Bluetooth on it. I like that, and I find that I'll always keep that because that has a definite usefulness to it. Although I'm thinking about getting the Pro because it has a little bit more features that I would actually use. So this in general is my favorite pick out of the ones that we've done now. Now, if I get the XD05 and I find that that's which it is a powerhouse. I don't know exactly. I'd have to sit down and look at the specs, what it is compared to this. That does have a ton of features as well. But in my opinion, I think this one is the top of the class when it comes to those, uh, besides the Diablo, because the Diablo is just a different thing altogether. It's in a different level. Um, this would be like Dodge Hellcat, and the Diablo would be like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something like that. Uh, Still very powerful, a lot of nice features. Um, it just ticks all the boxes, to be quite honest, in my opinion. If you're looking for one and you're not like seriously into like super high reference class purity, then this one would be for you. Not saying that it doesn't have details, not saying that it doesn't do any of that stuff excellent, which it does. But I'm talking about like somebody that goes out, gets a pair of Maze and Pyrians or some focals or something, and wants to use this to, just use the highest. What's the highest this one goes up to? This one has DSD 5212, PCM 768 kilohertz, and MQA, which I don't know, that's debatable. MQA. I personally don't use MQA, but I do have a bunch of DSD files and FLAC files. And I think most people are going to absolutely love this. And I know it's like $700 something or something like that. It's still cheaper than the Diablo. But overall, if you could get your hands on one of these, if there's a sale or you can get one of these used or something like that, jump on it, because this thing really is nice. It really does have a lot of features, even if you're not going to use them right now. Maybe you want them for the future. And that makes this kind of future-proof. I mean, we all don't know what the heck's coming up. There may be streaming high-res files right into our brains soon. And I'm sure iFi will come out with a device for that as well. But for now, this guy's pretty good. Really good. I like it. It's my personal favorite. This would be my personal pick. If I was doing a DAC amp thing of the year, taking into account the prices, I know the other ones are like $150, $160. This would be top of the top 5 list, definitely. So that's it. This has been the iFi iDSD Micro Signature Edition, the blue one, not the black label. A little bit thinner, a little bit leaner, same amount of features, much, much, much better when it comes to low impedance than a lot of other DAC amps, definitely. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been informative, and this has just been a follow-up to the video that we did where we showed all the different accessories and everything else and my opinions on it. I just wanted to give a more in-depth opinion and tell you what the sound signature was on this as well, and how I feel about this. I really like this. And this goes back in the corner where it will remain. Thank you so much, and please be safe.